don't listen to you. So we will do the prayer first. So thank you all.
Please bow with me. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the time that we've been given together to come together both in person and virtually to fellowship as Rotarians. We do pray that you be with those who need your healing hand in this time, whether they are suffering from COVID or any regular illness or just loneliness altogether, even in this time of virtual togetherness that we have. We thank you for the weather, and we wish all the best to all of us Rotarians, whether together or virtual, in the coming week, that we all have happiness and healthiness. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Things we say and do.
The truth is fair to all concerned, will build goodwill and better friendships, will be beneficial to all concerned.
All right. Mr. Sergeant of Arms, Rock. All right. Yeah, Mike O'Neill today.
Oh, absolutely.
Speaker, and I believe I can probably this together. Happy Bucks. Anybody have Happy Bucks? I got one.
Sure. I can't.
Mitchell, I got an 8.
Is there a code just in case it knocks?
When he said the new phone books are here.
Keep the pants in the background.
All right. Yep.
Anybody else? Happy Bucks at home? Anyone? Really?
I'm super happy to be back with the Rotary Club. You guys, so I'm glad to be back on track. Second of all, I'm glad to hear a Dirt reference. That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
You have Happy Bucks?
I have Happy Bucks. So folks, I'm happy to be here with you all. That's what I'm happy about. I'm happy to have met Isaac. Happy to have met you all. I'm so happy to be out of my home. It's been since late January that I've been in front of an audience, but it was a big audience. The room was twice this size, and they were out in the hallway and stuff. That was the last time I spoke in front of anybody. So I want to do a photo shot here. This one. You let me do that, please? Okay. I'm known as the Lincoln rock star. Okay.
Give us permission to use that?
This officially licensed. Oh, all right. This is what $20 buys you. Okay. So I'll share a little bit here that the really good ones have an inside thing that you can wash and replace. They have elastic. My Pink Floyd one does not have elastic, and as I talk, it just drops down. So you can actually speak in this one like you can in Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about the Happy Buck.
Yeah, I have two. I get to see my sister. We attached, so my sister said she could come down and see me, which is really nice. I haven't seen her since Christmas. So, of course,
Announcements. Anyone have announcements? I do, or Joni does, about the golf tournament. We need to know, for you guys out there in Zoom land, who and if anybody's gonna do any golfing. So if you have a foursome, we need to know. By the end, we will be next week. And if you're gonna sponsor, let us know. And if you wanna volunteer, let us know. Mary, your name came up this morning, but we told them you guys are hunkered down. So, did you hear that?
Internet's shaky over here.
August 3rd.
Internet's shaky on my side.
Wine, if you want to donate wine to beer. That's obviously selecting that. Otherwise, you can let me know and I can put you down if you want to spend your money on wine.
And just to give you an idea, we are a little pacing ahead of last year. If that's fair to say, we're about 15,005 in sponsorships. We have 44 teams of 4. No, 25 teams of 4, and looking for, there's room for 44 more.
They will have carts set up ahead of time, so that's why they're asking for names ahead of time, so they can have carts designated for people, so nobody has to be looked in.
Does everybody have their own card?
No.
With 2 subs, I think.
I think so.
You can question.
Yes.
And there will be a waiver to sign if you go. Without that. That's it for announcements, if there are any other questions. Good. Who's introducing this?
So I will do a quick introduction of our speaker, and I apologize for the Zoom audience. I'm actually behind the table, so you cannot see me. I met Mike O'Neill. We were on a webinar about a month or 2 back, and we got some involved in some conversations about increasing social media ROI on LinkedIn, of course, because Aileron IT is B2B. And Mike, I didn't realize at the time, had a wide experience level. So in addition to being one of the major LinkedIn influencers, he's also helped us personally. And I don't want it to turn into a commercial, but his accomplishments stand on their own merit without our involvement. So with that, Mike O'Neill. I'm gonna move you here.
I'll let that happen the first few slides. The presentation here is called Prescription for a Crisis. I'm going to talk about LinkedIn mostly, but incorporate Facebook. This is a much abbreviated presentation, the 25-minute version of something that is typically 45 minutes. I'm not sure the how-to part as much as I might normally do, because I'm an educator. I've been in this situation for quite a while. Okay, since 2004, I've been training and helping people use LinkedIn in various ways. And over the 16 years, I've kind of focused on the B2B market and on a technology called campaigns that I'm going to talk to you about. I hit the maximum in 2009, the maximum number of connections on LinkedIn. When you're a trainer in that 2000 period, everyone that you train wants to connect with you, and their friends want to connect with you. So it wasn't so hard getting to that level back then because I was doing a lot of training. Training at the University of Denver, training online, training all around the country as I went on tours. So I'm not just going to talk about LinkedIn. I'm also quite a bit involved in Facebook. Now, Facebook here in this situation is going to be more for lookup and all, not engaging people on Facebook. I'm not going to teach you how to friend people and how to get involved in their Facebook stuff. But
Excuse me a second.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could kill the lights in the room or point this camera at your laptop screen. We can't see anything.
No, we can't see Mike.
Well, I'm not in the frame. You can't see me, of course. Who's got a flashlight? All right, so there's some combination here.
Maybe the laptop screen would work better.
The laptop screen would work better, but I'm sharing it to here. We don't have a splitter to go.
You're fine.
All right, so I wrote a couple books, 2010, 2015, new one coming out this year. This presentation is based on the book, Prescription for a Crisis. And I'm not going to work on focus too much. Then better, there we go. Okay. So half of the United States is on LinkedIn. pretty much everyone you know and care about is on LinkedIn. And if not, they're an outlier at this point. But 3/4 of the world, America included, is on Facebook. So it seemed good to match them up. And I know very well how to do that. We share our personal lives on Facebook. We share our business lives on LinkedIn. And the two go very well together. Okay? So the first step is in this process is to modernize. Okay? We need to look the part before we can engage other people. So we got to look internally, got to look in the mirror, as we'll see a little bit later. So I'm going to go over some profile things that you might need first. This is the first step. So if this is how your profile, now I can really sharpen it up, right? Yeah.
Still can't see it.
Human zoom, how's that? All right. So it's easy for you to get out of date on your profiles, right? I mean, you don't pay attention to it. Something happens in your life, time for an update. So Brad had left this company and started his own firm. Okay? He did that about 3 months after he left. Not the right thing to do. As you change your job, generally, that's the first thing you do. If you go to work for Sprint and you used to be at AT&T, guess what? On Monday morning, your profile says you work at Sprint now. You don't want to be talking about the old company. So modernizing is a big component. Telling your story, first of all, with your photo, the most important part of your profile. And your profile should be in the right clothes. Should be the right this and that. You got to smile. Charlie's smiling. But you notice he's at a little bit of an angle. So even in LinkedIn, you can twist that up. You can zoom in and out with your photo, twist it up to add an effect or to take it away. Like with Charlie. Okay. So the important things in your profile, the important things, get in the right spot here, folks. Important things in your profile, first of all, text-wise, is called your summary. Okay. This is where you tell your life story. How did I get to here? I have a pretty interesting story. Now, how did I get to be the top LinkedIn folks out there? How did I get to here? Well, you read my summary on my profile to find out. See if that matches up to your journey, if there's something that sounds familiar. But the work experience is the other area. There's 2 areas of long form text that matter the most. Your summary and your job description. Focus on those 2. Okay. The last thing, the most important thing in the text world is called your headline. And this is what people see of you whenever you like, comment, share. You leave tracks behind. And that's what it looks like. Optimize yourself to this more than anything at all. Single thing that matters the most, photo and this. So you want to leave a good first impression, or do you want not to? It's kind of your choice. There's a lot of things in social media that are not up to you. The algorithms take over, but this is fully in your control. No reason for this not to look like Juan. Okay? Does not take long. In 30 minutes, you can look like Juan, right? So the process of doing this within our book is one of friends, empathy, and barter across these 3 platforms. This is the prescription. It's a slightly different prescription for everybody, but it's an overall prescription. Starts with friends. So we're going to focus on folks we know. Our friends category is folks we know, right? Friends aren't people we don't know in this category. Those would be called targets. Okay? They're not friends. They're on the other side of the wall. So we're talking about somebody who knows us, might even like us a little bit, might even have trust. We'll settle for no for now. We'll build up like and trust over time. You just can't accelerate that. It's like, you know, I want my child to be 5 years old and he's 2. And you want. It takes a little time. I'm not sure a 2-year-old. Yeah, I think a 5-year-old over a 2-year-old right now. So you build this up, though. It starts here. You got to know who you are, and then they get to like you and trust you. But we'll start with folks, like I said, we already know. So in the LinkedIn world, I'm going to call this LinkedIn connections. Okay? We're connected, folks. We're connected to. That's where it starts. That's the big picture. From it, we've got a small set of those connections. The other part is Facebook friends. Now, when I talk about friends, empathy, and barter, I mean across platform here. Facebook's kind of coined the phrase, okay, but I'm expanding that. And folks that we email with as well. Now, email, I'll say, is our companion to social media. Social media has its own way to communicate. LinkedIn message, Facebook message, email message. They're not much different. They just come in from a different place. So, friends, empathy, this is an empathetic organization, is it not? I read the sign over here. I heard you say it. Empathy is about putting yourself in someone else's shoes, walking a mile in their shoes, not as me in their shoes, but as them in their shoes. Okay? It's not our experience here to be put there. It's try to be in their experience. And a lot of it has to do with timing. If someone is sharing their life story with you, pouring their heart out, you don't interrupt them and say, oh, do you know Jack? I do too. You wait till the end to let them tell the whole story. The punchline comes at the end. You jump in, you don't know. So we're going to talk about having those kind of conversations. Our conversations are about wants and needs. Wants are things that I physically need. Needs are things that I physically need. You know, more emotional needs, physical needs. Wants are things above and beyond that that bring us pleasure. Needs fulfill us. Wants provide pleasure. They fall into different buckets. Okay? We might have a bucket of family needs. My family has such needs. And so on, to different buckets. The financial bucket hits people pretty hard. Have you known folks that are in a rough spot right now, financially? I do. The speaking business is gone. If you were trying to make money speaking, good luck. Good luck. Here I am, but there's no check being written, but here I am. I'm practicing my craft. And I know speakers that would normally get $5,000, $10,000 to speak who would be happy to come here and speak to you for free. Because we want to stay in the game. We want to practice our new material on folks. We want to see if it plays, and at the end, see how we did. And I want your honest opinion afterwards here, because this is guiding my book project. It's guiding a lot of things for me. This agenda. The barter side of it is a matter of finding out what someone else wants and needs by asking. You can't assume that someone is just going to share their story. They might need to be prodded a little bit. Okay? They're not going to know what our wants and needs are in our conversations unless we share. So, but you start out here asking about what they want and need. Isaac, how are things? I mean, the IT business has got to be, really jumping right now.
It's actually pretty good.
Business is pretty good. What are the issues that your clients are having? These are the things. So if he's not needy, how is he helping other people with their needs? That gets the conversation flowing in an empathetic way. So we share our stuff, and we got to think about what has the biggest bang for the buck. How can I help Isaac the most? There's some things I can do to really leverage what I know and who I know and how I do it, right? Tools, right? So that has a different bang for the buck over here than it does right over here than it does over here. It's a different wants and needs. You just get good at the process of finding out this, not good at a specific want or need. So you might just say, I don't know how to help. You come out of ideas. You feel sometimes you go, I don't know how to help you. Does that come up? I just don't know how. You're in groceries. And I don't know how someone is in groceries. So maybe you know someone else. Maybe there's a possible introduction. Or maybe you could like something I post. That's pretty easy. Everyone can push a like button. I don't know how I can help. Well, can you push this button for me? In another situation, you might go, still, I'm doing that. What else? Sometimes it's just for the love of the game. The conversation. Isaac and I had conversations that were just about having conversations. We didn't have a topic. We just really enjoyed our chat. And that's how it is sometimes that you have this sort of conversation, and guess what happens later? When you expect nothing in return is when the best returns happen. It's not when you negotiate the process. I'll share this with you if you share that with me. It's asymmetrical. It's not this way. It's not tit for tat. People feel obliged to help. You help them. Just want to go forward, and you've got that empathy bucket full of coins you can cash in on. That's a lot what this is about. It's about planting seeds. Now, this is not a seed for a tree. Okay? This is not a tree seed. Okay? How long does it take for this to grow? A couple months. And that's how long this process should take. To check in with the folks we know on LinkedIn, to check in with the folks we know on Facebook, and new people who aren't even part of that we already know. So the action part here, and what to do. I got you excited, right? A little bit excited? This is easy because you already know these people. There's no issue about what am I going to say, what am I going to do. The definition here is those are folks where you don't have to worry about what am I going to say, what am I going to do. They're part of your inner circle. So my project here had a Minneapolis and a Denver bit to it. I lived in Denver 20 years. 200 people in Denver that I used my process here with. And there were about 125 in the Twin Cities. My network's here. Actually, I grew up here in Burnsville. But I've been gone for 30 years, so my network never really got a hold here until I moved back about 6 or 7 years ago to take care of mom and dad. Anyone taking care of family sort of stuff in your family? Dad passed away, but mom's still here, and that's frankly why I wear the mask when I come in. It's for that. So if I don't get real close and have huggy and stuff here, I normally am. Trust me. So we're going to start with, like I said, folks that we already know. We call this low-hanging fruit in the business world. On LinkedIn, it's folks we're connected to. So let's look at the folks we're already connected to on LinkedIn and see who can use a little bit of love from us. Who should we be trekking into during this period of time where people especially appreciate that? Especially not from a stranger, but from folks they already know. In the Facebook world, it's quite similar. We've got friends, and they're friends in our current city. You might not have known that this was here. Right? You can filter a lot of other ways. I filter on birthdays. That's why I say happy birthday. Only to folks I know. And I'm not one to say happy birthday to strangers. That's other people. That's part of a marketing program. This is not a marketing program. This is an empathy program. We find our folks on the two platforms. We're using them as a database, okay, to stir up ideas here. But our response could be in any one of a bunch of different ways. Isaac and I like to text. So there we go to text. If we were doing WhatsApp, already, that's the way we communicate. Even though I found you on LinkedIn and got the idea on LinkedIn, whatever channel of communications fits to each person is the channel we would use. This is email. I'm sorry, this is text message. Now, if you're text messaging somebody versus emailing somebody, do you have a stronger relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Big deal to get into my text box, right? Yeah. So there's a higher value target situation as you move up from anonymous email to text message to this is Skype. You get someone on Skype, that's really great because that's an ongoing communication stream. Your conversation doesn't go away like it does in Zoom. Our Zoom, is this Zoom? Here.
It is Zoom. Yep.
So you're going to get a TXT file from the chat here. And it's going to go away. It shows up on your hard drive in a little directory called a TXT file. In Skype, you get an ongoing conversation forever. That's a whole lot of relationship there. So I talk about the crisis, okay? And, we're going to come out of this. And we're going to have a little bit of an outlook that's, whoa, check it out someday. We're going to go, hallelujah. It may not be one day. But this day is starting to come for some of us. Your business never really went away. I'm getting inquiries about speaking for next year. We wouldn't even talk about that a few months ago. So I'm feeling good. I get goosebumps. I get a little bit of goosebump on my arm right now. Seriously, I'm just being here with you. Gives me the goosebump. Lets me look towards this day where this is really going to happen for a lot of folks. In the sales and marketing world, we call it what? Not farming. What's it called? Hunting. Hunting, a hunter. We hunt for new business, right? The new kill. I'm not a hunter at all. I understand, Tom. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Okay? But the analogy here is sales reps know this part. What's new on your forecast this month versus last month? Not just how did you stir up those accounts we already had and made them more ready to buy in the future, but who's new? So the process of finding folks is called campaigns. I invented this technology, actually, this process about 5 years ago, using folks from India and Pakistan and Philippines. And we ended up replacing them with software that we use locally here. Well, I'm going to talk to you about what happens in a LinkedIn campaign. Now we're just focused pretty much on LinkedIn. So we've got targets, folks we don't know, but we would like to know. Okay? We've got messages that we're going to send to them. These messages are for those folks. Maybe these other messages are for other folks. Medical industry people get a medical message from us. It talks about, thinks about the things you can say in the medical world. My dad was a general practitioner. He delivered 2,200 babies, and he's the chief in staff, the first chief in staff of the Ridges Hospital down in the South, Fairview Ridges Hospital stuff. So when I talk about matching things up here and stuff, you don't put my dad into a knee surgery. That's the wrong target and message. That's the wrong matchup. But you put my dad with babies, and you got it. Okay. I happen to be having a knee problem, so it kind of came to mind. Wouldn't go to a general practitioner about my knee. So you have specific things that create a campaign. They come together just like this. Okay. So this is what it looks like. We invite people we don't know. We're hunting now. Don't know these people. They don't know us. We're total strangers. Some of them are going to connect on LinkedIn, and when they do, that opens up the door to a whole bunch of things we can do. We can send a message when they connect. I could recommend you. I could endorse your skills. I could see what you've got going on my homepage because now we're connected and your activity shows up with me. So there's a few more other things, but those are the big ones. After you connect, in this case with a campaign, we're going to send a message that says, thanks for connecting, blah, specifically about them perhaps. Or if we're automating and systemizing, we might have a series of messages that go into a tool that sends stuff like a email sending machine, okay? Except it happens on LinkedIn. And this is where Isaac and I play together with the tool that mechanically does this here, so we don't have to push all the keys here. It's a $75 a month tool. So somebody has some duties here, even with the tool. Somebody has some duties. Okay? Somebody's going to do it, and for the most part, that looks familiar. You turn around and go, who's going to do this? And there's nobody there but yourself. You might be on a team even, but the team isn't going to help you. You got to help yourself. Sales reps got to find their own leads. But there's ways to get help. You might have an assistant to help do some of this stuff. You might have a vendor, assistant and a vendor and technology maybe, some mix of this. So you got the right combination of man and machine, the right person at the right time, doing the right this and that. So I can help you, and I'd be glad to help any of you once again for the goodness of mankind, not because I look at you as a prospect, sell you something. I want you to find value from me and to recommend me to your other friends. I got a call from Rotary in San Francisco. Did you put that together?
I didn't make the connection intentionally.
The Rotary of San Francisco said that they saw my presentation. I go, haven't even done it. So I think they saw that it was coming and they just jumped on it. And so I wanted to wait until after this so that you can kind of see what it's like. The webinar version of this is not quite as entertaining, but still pretty good. I've got free stuff that's going to be really helpful to y'all. Okay. First of all, my book is really great. And I've got a 5-page summary of it with actual plans, the action plans I showed you there in a download. And it's really good. The pictures are there. It's the bomb. Okay? I've also recorded a version of this presentation that's longer. So I had to cut some stuff out to get down to 25 minutes here. But that stuff's included in a video that's there. And I've got some individual resources. Y'all probably need help with your profile. Everybody I meet, even experts, needs a little help with their profile. So I got a 4-page guide that'll walk you through the graphics. What do I say here? What do I not say? Where do I put a phone number? That kind of stuff. The systems and stuff that I use require generally a higher level version of LinkedIn called Sales Navigator. We need it to do our stuff. Sales Navigator lets us eliminate people that are too big or too small or not the right level in the company. So our time is spent on the folks that matter most. Let the software filter out the folks that are not qualified, so I got a better target list that I can run with. The campaign process stuff I talked about, there's a 20-page white paper on that. Really designed for do-it-yourself, not to hook you into working with me on something. This is a do-it-yourself guide for the most part. Okay. Your inbox gets kind of busy once you get working on LinkedIn. Right? It's a little busy. It really does. I'm just kind of exaggerating. Not. It's going to be scrolly-moly for a while, you know? So there's some ways with the inbox that we can archive messages and focus on the ones that matter and stuff. Really good techniques there for your inbox. And a lot more. So I'll give you a URL at the end where all this stuff is at. Where do I get that? What do I do? So I do coaching, kind of one-on-one stuff for individuals like y'all. I work with teams. Okay, I love working with sales teams and stuff. I was on one for 20 years. I was a corporate sales rep, sales engineer. So my reps would take me on the calls that were difficult so I could, make sure that they don't sell things we can't do. You know how sales reps are sometimes? We say, oh, I can do that. I can do that. So I got fired one time in my telecom job because I did the right thing. There was no fiber cable going to this facility, and my sales rep was selling something that required fiber to be there. And it's a 2-year job to pull fiber to a building or more. So I in the meeting said, I think we should look at a wireless solution out of here. We're not going to get that in. We can go wireless to the hilltop out there and into downtown. I started working on that, and I got fired because my sales rep counted on that deal to make her quota that month. Even though it could not be delivered, she would have had 90 more days on the job. And they finally found out about that. She lost her job too. So we do some of this campaign stuff kind of for you. So if you want us to kind of run this for you. And here we go. This is it. 25 minutes. How'd I do? 26 and a half. Okay? So it's pretty close. This site will get you to everything. If you want all those freebies that I talked about, you can book a call with me. We even Zoom, share screens when we Zoom and stuff. Log into your account. I'll tell you what to do. I'll guide you on the changes you need to do in your profile. And I'll show you how to find your target market, the people in your market that are the folks that are most likely to want to hear your story, and you might want to most do business with them. That's my presentation. Question and answer time.
Do you have to go to the next level? Do you have to buy the premium? They always send me every 30 days or so.
Okay, so I don't suggest you buy the premium version. If you're going to pay for LinkedIn, you want Sales Navigator. It's $80 and the premium version is $60. And it's not worth $20, quite frankly. You should be in the free program or on Sales Navigator. The in-between is it's for suckers, quite frankly.
There you go.
So back down, $60 or $120. They have stripped feature after feature after feature out of that program and still charge $60 for it. So I'm looking, used to be worth $60. Oh, more than that. Whereas they took that one out and that one out and that one out, it should be more like this, and it's still $60. So, and you can get a free month of Sales Navigator to try it and see if it's for you. I'll probably be playing for it for the next 10 or 15 years until I die. I got so much embedded in it. Messages and targets and lists. You create lead lists and target lists and account lists over there. You get kind of used to it. You get kind of spoiled by it. You go like, how can I ever do without this? But someday you might miss a payment. Your credit card goes awry. You're on a long trip. You come back and all your data is gone. Okay, so that's why they have a recurring credit card. So that will happen, right? Mail in a check. Any other questions? That was a great one. That's right. Marketing at the end, the target guys with the hunters, that's about marketing and reaching out. But when you're talking about reaching out to the folks you know and your friends to have these heartfelt conversations, your conversations aren't about how to get a 20% discount on something, or about how you know the first 10 people that sign up for something get this, or I want you to get the best value out of something. It's about what's going on in your life. It's about personal things. That's what it is. And the business part flows from it because you're talking to people you would do business with already, perhaps. People that can turn you on to somebody else. At least like or recommend something. There's something to be had there. That's the definition of those people, the folks we know. It's not everybody we know. I took my list of folks I know and I said, yeah, those are the folks that I really know and care the most about. Just because I know somebody doesn't mean there's enough of me to go around, quite frankly. And there may not be enough of you to go around to everybody that you know. But there's a subset of that. Yes?
It's a good level of
once a week. Yeah. One post a week. And you can just share someone else's post. Doesn't have to be your own. But if you're out there on LinkedIn doing one action to the public out there, one social something, that's where it starts. I'm not talking about one like a week. I'm talking about a post that has your name in it that could have been just, hey, check this out, instead of here's mine. But yeah, that's where it starts. Not one a month, not daily, once a week.
I have a question. So I'm going to reference the profile headline, but I don't know if I don't want to be self-serving. Use mine. So Zach, can I pick on you? So I haven't seen Zach's LinkedIn profile forever, so I don't know what it says. But as far as the headline goes, what is the difference? How do you make it magnetic instead of saying, chiropractor focusing on families and children to, I am an amazing chiropractor who loves working with families and children. What is the difference between using just nouns and an actual sentence?
So let's start out that you get 210 characters. That's how much space you get, right? Which is a mini paragraph, a long sentence. That's how much space. And you can divvy that up to part 1, part 2, and part 3. So my favorite thing to do is in part 1 of it is your title and company. Sales manager, Aileron IT. Is that right? Close?
No,
Like that.
president, but close enough.
President of Aileron IT. Okay. Well, but a title like that, okay, sales rep is not a good title, so you inflate it a little bit. I was deflating you, I meant to inflate you. King.
Well,
King.
that's too much. But
There we go. There we go.
grab
So
Poobah.
that might be 30 characters. Okay, so now we're down to like 180. See our budget here? We're budgeting what we do. The next part might be who you serve. Okay. So if you're a vendor, we serve nonprofits. The triplicate of choice thing happens. You know, this, or this sort of thing. Nonprofits, technical companies, and government. So, and then there's maybe a third element to it as well. That could be something about yourself. You know, in my case, Forbes Top 50 sort of thing. Okay. So think about it in at least 2 buckets, if not 3. I use a ski diamond to separate them. To the left of the ski diamond, and it's a blue one. Not a black one. Because I don't ski black, okay? I'm from Colorado. You know, like I spent 20 years in Colorado, and it kind of grew on me. But I have little black ones too. They're just not. And if you want to look at my profile for ideas, you really should. My headline, my about section, my job description, the images. I'm a good example, but mine is for everybody, not just for one person. So you don't pick everything there, you pick the things that might work for you. But what some folks do is they copy that, Control-C, all of it, put it into a Google Doc, and then just put their story on top of mine, their email address on top of mine, how I got here, where I went to school, where they went to school. You just kind of replace one with the other. And the little 1, 2, 3, 4 in circles, it looks so cool when you go, how did you get that? Where did that come from? The 1, 2, 3, 4 is in a circle. Control-C, Control-V. Anything you see on someone else's profile, you can copy into yours. You want a little rocket ship or a heart or whatever. I don't suggest those, but the ones I have, I do suggest. So I'll go back to where if you wanted that. Good questions, by the way. Isaac asked tough ones, but he's already asked his really tough ones. We've had our one-on-one time. And I haven't had one-on-one time with any of you. Nobody. I'd like to. So if you like, just use this site here to book a call. We'll get on a Zoom call together. Just be all ready with your profile. You know, be already logged in and stuff, because we're gonna take our suits off. We're gonna roll up our sleeves and do a few things. Okay. That's what I had, and I'll hang out for questions a little bit. Let me share that I have a friend. I'm going to put a plug. Can you take a picture of me with this book? I want to get credit for plugging my buddy's book. All right.
Got it.
All right. So I'm giving this to yourself. Oh, okay. That's yours, Randy.
Thank you.
Okay. It is a wonderful book, but the design on it really stinks. Okay. He did not get the professional help he needs. The carriage returns aren't in the right place, but the material in it is really, really good. Look on the back and see what looks rotten to you there. Won't take you long.
It says networking is the new normal. Networking never looks good.
Travis was an executive at BNI for 20 years. Not a BNI host, but an executive at the organization with Ivan Meisner and those folks. So he really knows his stuff. And in the Twin Cities, in Woodbury, no less. His group has a Woodbury's closest to you, right? Yeah. Not too far. They have monthly meetings, 5 of them around the Twin Cities, and that's the group Accelerated Global Connections. It's a wonderful guy, and I go all the events. So I'm at the Woodbury event when they strike it back up again. So that's it. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Any other business before Rotary? If there is none, I will adjourn. Thank you. I had Zoom.
I have a couple extras.